Before I introduce and induct our Hall of Fame honorees, I just want to note one more milestone that we're celebrating here at Consumer Watchdog tonight. Not only is it our 10th rage and our 30th year as an organization, but we just marked Jamie Court's 20th anniversary with Consumer Watchdog. So I just want to thank him for raging with us for all those years. I am really truly honored to be inducting Tammy and Tim Smick into Consumer Watchdog's Hall of Fame. Tammy and Tim are very rare people. If you spend half an hour with them, probably at your dinner table, you'll feel as if they're old friends. Their strength and their courage inspires everyone, but not just to support them, but to rally by their side and to fight for change. In a minute, you'll hear about why they're fighting. They lost their son Alex 3 years ago to a series of shocking medical errors. But first, I want to tell you just a little bit about Tammy and Tim and how they epitomize the rage for justice that Jamie just talked about that we're celebrating tonight. Tammy and Tim's first act of protest was a giant rally that they organized outside the hospital where they lost their son. This was before we knew them. We didn't tell them how to do it. They had never done anything like this before. But they wanted to warn other patients and let the doctor and the hospital know that they would not stand by quietly while other patients that were at risk, that they would not go away. They vowed to fight, not only to hold Alex's doctors accountable, but to change the patient safety system in this state so that no other family would have the same tragic loss that their family had to suffer. At the last Rage for Justice, a lot of you were here, and we celebrated the launch of a wave of patient safety reforms in Sacramento. Well, Tammy and Tim were there with us at the very first press conference on the steps of the Capitol. We were there for a hearing of the Business and Professions Committee. Now, those of you who have been in Sacramento know that this is usually a committee that is in the pocket of the medical industry. And they were deciding the fate of the California Medical Board. Well, I have never seen a committee hearing like that one, and I doubt many of you have either. The two chairs of that committee couldn't turn away from Tammy and Tim's story. Right after that hearing, they announced that if the medical board didn't clean up its act, they were going to shut it down for good. And that never would have happened if not for Tammy and Tim's courage. No matter where you ask them to go, how late of notice you give them, Tammy and Tim are always there and ready to pick up the flag. In fact, one time, they drove all night from Downey to Sacramento for a press conference that we asked them to be at. And they were so single-minded about why they were there, so laser-focused on their mission, demanding reform from the legislature, that they actually didn't have time to remember where they parked their car. Luckily, Sacramento is a very small town, so they eventually found it. But it's thanks to Tammy and Tim's tireless efforts at whatever cost that patient safety is actually improving in California. We got the head of the medical board fired. And the medical board will face getting shut down yet again next year thanks to the reforms that Tammy and Tim started if it can't prove that it is cleaned house. The board has even had their in-house investigators taken away, the ones that protected the doctors a little too much. And that's meant more bad doctors getting investigated in real time. And you'll see in a moment a little bit about our latest victory, thanks to the fight that we started in Sacramento with Tammy and Tim, a bill to rein in the prescription drug overdose crisis just passed the state Senate. Don't get me wrong, we have a long way to go. There's a lot more to do, but it was the intense scrutiny from the legislature that they started that's launched real change for patient safety in California, and that's thanks to Tammy and Tim. If you meet Tim tonight, you'll see that he wears his heart on his sleeve. And if you meet Tammy, you'll quickly learn that she never, ever, ever backs down. They're truly a force to be reckoned with, and that's why I'm so honored to fight by their side. If you guys could roll the video.